When John Warner invited me to be part of this conference, I had sort of two nearly simultaneous thoughts. And I guess the first, if I had to pick the first thought was, this looks like an awesome event. I mean, the speaker list and the guest list is nuts, and it actually has turned out to be amazing. We've had a great time out there showing off our demo. And the second thought was something sort of like, when people look at my stuff, they definitely usually do not think AR. So, I guess this is going to be a great opportunity because I kind of get the chance to explain why AR can be something other than a mediated screen or goggles or tablet kind of thing. So let me tell you a little bit about what I am doing, and you guys can kind of draw your own conclusions. So when I was a kid, I had this bizarre idea, for some reason, that the future would be full of holograms, right? You'd be walking down the street and you'd see these amazing, vivid 3D images just popping out at you. And that hasn't really happened. So, as a co-founder of Lumi, I've been working with my colleagues to try to bring that vision a little bit closer to reality. What you're looking at here is actually what we call light field print. And by light field print, we mean, we make light field media, things where you can look at them and you see 3D. You can look around objects, you see perspective, and you don't have to wear any special glasses. And I'd invite you all, if you haven't seen our demos already, come out to the lobby on the 6th floor and just check these things out, because it's, the screen is no substitute for looking at them in person. And I'll get into a little bit more detail on what exactly that is in a moment. But let's go back to AR now. If I can go, yeah. So thinking about AR, I'd taken a little break from it because it's been a while since I really thought about what we all mean by augmented reality. And just recently, in the lead up to this conference, I was thinking about it again, and I realized now with perspective of what I'm currently doing, I think there's some little piece missing from what we all consider to be AR. So when I started my PhD here back around 2009, if I said AR to someone, they would inevitably think of something like this. It's a cell phone with little text boxes that float over your camera feed, or a webcam plugged into your computer that renders something 3D. And these were really cool demos at the time. But I think, in large part, thanks to the fantastic and inspiring work of a lot of people in this room and in this conference, that vision has kind of morphed into something a little more fantastic, right? Something that feels a little more magical. And as someone, who thinks about these kind of things from the perspective of my academic training, the sort of computational optics I've been doing for the last decade or so, I really get excited about the sort of nuts and bolts of like these devices that mediate reality, right? This is a really cool technical challenge. But then, thinking about putting this talk together, I realized that's not what drives AR. It's not the cool technology. It's that sort of magical experience, right? It's the seeing a layer of something that was previously unseeable. It's that rendering something that feels like magic on top of your mundane, everyday reality, right? And I think the promise of really good AR is something that is going to lower the barrier to having those experiences so that everyone can have them. It's something that doesn't ask us to change our behavior very much in order to tap into this new wealth of potential. So this is the part of the talk where I get to put up some hand-wavy plots that I made up, and you guys can judge them as you will. But I think two kind of key ways to judge the set of experiences that are coming out now are along two sort of what I think of as orthogonal axes. There's intimacy, by which I mean how private and personal is this experience? And then there are barriers to adopting this. So how hard is it to get someone to pick up on one of these new experiences? So that first axis looks something like this. And I think of it as kind of a continuum, right? We have the extremely personal on the one side there, on the left, which is like, imagine a hypothetical thing where you modify your brain somehow, and only you know what's going on inside. And things like contact lenses and even glasses and helmets, we have no idea what someone is experiencing in their own AR world, which could be good. or could be bad, right? And we have another end of the axis there, which is a shared experience. So imagine like projection mapping or just changing environmental effects like lighting and temperature. And that's something that you can't help but have the same experience as everyone else in the room. The other axis that I want to talk about is the barrier to adoption, right? So how hard is it to get people to change their behavior in order to try what you're offering? And on the one end there's sort of very high effort things, again, like modifying your body or wearing a device all the time that you wouldn't have worn otherwise. And on the sort of very low effort side, there's just existing, right? Walk into a room and you see it. So maybe you kind of see where I'm going with this, but if we are to kind of assemble this four-quadrant style plot out of these axes, where you have more and less effort on the left there and sort of personal to shared on the bottom, what we get is something, if I walk around on the demo floor out there, you can quibble about where these things show up, but most of the experiences are very personal. And they require a lot of behavior change on the part of the users that we're asking to try them out. So I guess my kind of question for the people in the AR community is there room for something that's a shared, sort of very low effort experience? Maybe it's not everything we might imagine AR to be, but it's something that's like AR training wheels. You walk in and you just get it, and you're left craving more. Maybe you then want to put on a headset and try something else. So I guess at this point, I want to show a little demo. I'm going to just walk around, and you won't all be able to see this at once, so I'll just kind of go around the room. So this is one of the prints that we're able to make. So what you're looking at is not a hologram, and it's not AR, obviously, but it is, I think, something that's going to be a very powerful tool for people who want to make the AR experiences of tomorrow. I can show another quick little demo just in case you guys don't get a chance to come out to the table. But I definitely encourage you to walk out there. What you're looking at is actually something that was scanned by a drone. So my brother lives out in Colorado, beautiful nature-filled Colorado, and he flew his drone around this mountain, and we just threw the keyframes into Autodesk Recap and took the model and threw it into our software. So I guess the question, is, well, how can we kind of participate in this, right? So what we're doing at Lumi is we're trying to set up, a service that is going to let anyone, super creative people like you guys, but also normal people, basically just take 3D content, 2D content, throw it into a web browser, mix it up, however they like, kind of preview it, and then when they hit print, they would get delivered in the mail something like this, or to an ad box near you, or to your museum or house. And this is your 3D data embedded in a thin layer of plastic. So the really fantastic thing about that is that all of those techniques that we're developing for print apply equally well to digital displays. So when the compute gets there in a couple of years, we're going to go from these static things to things that move, things that are dynamic. And I guess I'll kind of just leave with this thought. Imagine making AR experiences that require no effort to experience. You just walk up and there they are. Imagine making an experience that is by its very nature a very collaborative, shared experience. So I think that one of the reasons that people aren't thinking along these lines now is that there's just sort of this idea in the community that those tools are very far away. And if I could leave you with one sort of idea in your head, it's that the future where we're able to throw a clear kind of print up on the window and have it overlaid on top of something that we see outside the window is much closer than we might have imagined yesterday or last year. So we'll be out in the demo floor if you want to check out what we're doing in person, and I'll be happy to take questions too.